Incoming! Your host is getting fat. Please put a penny in the Chester fan's hat. If you haven't got a penny, well, isn't that a pity? Just drop in some dog dirt or perhaps a bit of litter. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Final Whistle Weekly. I am Mark Griffiths. I'm joined by the ghost of Christmas past, Neil Williams, the ghost of Christmas to come, Bill Long, and Chay Long, the ghost of Christmas presents. Chay, where is my Christmas present?
Christmas present. There's under the tree. There's a couple there, so I don't know what they are. So there you go.
Well, thank you very much. That's what a girl like me always dreamed of. How how are we, guys?
Good. Yeah, good.
One good with reservations, and no one else will commit themselves. It's Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah. Be better once we get talking about Cambridge game out of the way, to be honest. I'll feel a bit better then. So they're going to put that right in the memory bank.
Yeah. Well, in tribute to that match and our performance, our intro has lacked fluency. So shall we move on and get on with the discussion of the Cambridge match and all that unpleasantness? I think we probably should. But first, although we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the absolutely balmy game at the Rock on Sunday. Crazy match between Wrexham and Barrytown United, which was great fun once it had ended. But first, we're also going to have our Christmas quiz. You guys can play along at home. I'm talking to Neil, Bill, and Chay because they're all in their homes. But yeah, and the listeners too. Dear listener, you too can test your minds against the greatest intellects in modern European history. As Bill will be our quiz master, and we will show off our knowledge, won't we, Bill?
We will in the Merry Wrexmas quiz.
Excellent.
Would have been a lot better if I'd have pulled that off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, nobody's willing to talk about their feelings, and Bill can't speak. It sounds like a better than usual opening to Final Whistle Weekly. At least I haven't called it Dragonheart this week, have I? Have I called it Dragonheart? I can't recall. I might have done. I don't know. Hopefully, my crack about Chester fans at the start will distract everybody. Well, we drew with Cambridge United. When I suggested we were going to talk about this, Neil said that will be quick. Well, let's hope so for the sanity of everybody watching and listening. Neil, it wasn't. It was disappointing, wasn't it?
Ever so disappointing. I think I said to you on Saturday that our passing has seemed to go astray. You know, that we used to be, beginning of the season, we were slick with our passing and we used to find our players. But watching the previous games against Exeter and Lincoln, their passing was far better than ours as well. And we dug deep and we won those games. But luckily, they couldn't score goals. But Saturday, Cambridge knew where the net was. And, I don't know what's gone on at Wrexham. I don't know what's happened to the players, but should we say it's not as enjoyable to watch at the moment?
Oh, typical spoilt Wrexham fan, isn't it?
Yeah, can I interject? I personally think the story of that game was how good Cambridge played,
Yes. Yeah,
and how poor we were. I think Cambridge were one of the most organised sides I've seen at the racecourse for a long time. I think if they play 70% of how they played on Saturday for the rest of the season, they're going to be fine. They're going to stay up. They're not a bad side at all. And we had a little bit of a hiccup, and it was a penalty that cost us all 3 points. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit over optimistic, but if our biggest complaint is a draw at home to Cambridge, we've come a long way. I'm not overly worried about that performance or the results at all, really.
I've got to say, I agree with you, Chay. I don't think it's something to worry about in the future. I mean, putting it into perspective for me, firstly, I started off the Final Whistle podcast by saying that the Cambridge press afterwards were telling me that they've played like this for about 6 games and their results have improved. That Gary Monk essentially has sort of abandoned his plan to play nice passing, fluent football. They've gone a bit more direct, and it suits them a lot better. And also that draw means it's 41 points out of 45 at home over our last 15 league matches, which is certainly form I will take.
Yes.
So it was disappointing on Saturday, but like I said, I think Cambridge did a number on us. They were very well prepared. So it's shame, Bill, that we couldn't hang on to the lead, because we would have got one of those squeaky wins Neil was talking about anyway, wouldn't we?
It was. I kind of feel almost like it was one of those draws that feels more like a loss because of the nature of it, rather than necessarily because of how we play, like you say. And it's disappointing, but when we've got the kind of record that we've got at home since Parkinson's taken over, we've just got to be prepared to take a result like that every now and again, haven't we, Chay?
Yeah, I get it. I can see why the fans are frustrated. Cambridge are where they are for a reason this season. But I don't know. I just don't see that it's I don't see that it's absolutely a crazy result getting a draw at home against Suicide, who yeah, they are struggling, but that result for them could really turn their season around now.
After losing against Stockport, if someone had told us we'd have gone unbeaten in 5 and won 4 of them, it wouldn't have mattered who the game that we drew against was, would it? Everybody would have taken that. So you've got to kind of take it from that perspective in a way, Neil, haven't you?
Oh yeah. I'm not complaining. They've gone beyond my wildest dreams this season. I never expected us to be so high up the league after getting promoted again. I mean, as Chay said, Cambridge, they were very well prepared, very well organised, and they played some really good football. But my concern was that Wrexham seemed to have lost that spark. Yeah, it was great. It's a point. We haven't still not lost at home, and I'm not disappointed about that. It was just the manner of maybe the quality of our players dropped a little bit in our performance of the slick passing, the runs, etc. And we seem to become a bit more direct and go for a long ball again. But we are playing at high division, better quality teams, and teams are working us out now. Early on in the season, you knew once we were going on attack, we slick, the passing was very quick, and you knew he was going to end up in the back of the net. And for me, that I'm not disappointed in our team at the moment. I mean, it's great where we are today, but I think their performance levels maybe have dropped a little bit. But Cambridge were a great team, and we've got to remember they beat Shrewsbury the previous weekend 4-1. So
yeah. I think we've got a lot of players who've played a lot of games as well. Mark, looking forward to looking at Bristol now. Would you change the striking partnership? Is there anywhere in the 11 that you'd think of changing around? Maybe rotating. We've got a really busy schedule now, haven't we? In the next few weeks.
Yeah, I picked Dan Alundulu, the Cambridge centre forward. He was a bit tasty, wasn't he?
But he did look good. Yeah.
He was very good, wasn't he? That actually was what I was going to ask you guys next. We switched to that formation of Lee playing off Palmer and really caught Exeter out and walloped a team with a good defensive record. Maybe a small element of that was the surprise of us doing that. And I just wonder whether now it's time to put that approach back into the this is another approach we've got, another arrow in our quiver, and go back to having 2 up front for the moment, especially as we are now in a run of games which are against teams lower down the table. And there have been occasions when we played this system, and I think that's what Neil is alluding to correctly in the Cambridge game, where if you go straight up to Palmer, he hasn't got a player naturally close to him, and he has to hold it up. To be fair, I think Palmer's played extremely well in this role. He has held the ball up really well, but it's harder than just helping her on to Mullin or somebody. So I do wonder whether, against teams that are letting in more goals now, it might be worth using those 2 strikers up there just to give Palmer someone closer to him. I think Lee's done well in that role, and I think he's played better in that role Danny Howe's playing a bit deeper earlier in the season when I think he was struggling a bit to influence games. And I also would say that this change of shape has allowed us to give Rathbone some continuity in midfield, and goodness me, what a player he is, and
Yeah.
equally Matty James. So, these changes have allowed us to bring some quality in the middle of the pitch. But I just wonder whether you got players who can pass the ball like Matty James, maybe having two players making runs and creating space and being targets higher up the pitch for him might be something we might revert back to. I think we will soon. It's just a case of when, I reckon. And having Fletcher back and fit means that you can do this now and still have a couple of attacking players on the bench to throw in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said on Saturday maybe that Palmer was winning the headers, but there was nobody actually picking those headers up. But that Lee was too far away from him or whatever. So that was just one concern we had on Saturday.
I feel Palmer, I mean, obviously it's suboptimal if he isn't scoring a lot of goals, but he's doing his job as a target man, I think, as well as he ever has done. He's really impressed me. It's just that, yeah, maybe it's time to go back to having a quick player alongside him to actually get on the end of his good work, not make him have to hold it up for so long, perhaps.
He's played a lot of football as well, hasn't he,
Yeah.
Palmer? Which, for his level of performance this season, I was very skeptical. Not very skeptical. I was skeptical whether he could, maintain performance levels that go into League One. He's not getting any younger, but he's been excellent this season. But he has played a lot of football. Bill, would you look at maybe starting Mullin on Saturday or Fletcher or to change things up, or would?
I feel like we've been saying for weeks, whether that's actually on recording or just in private, that it's time for Mullin to at least have a run in. And I think if there was any time to do that, it might not be against Bristol, because this formation is kind of suited us away from home. And maybe we don't change it this week, but you consider when we come back home to play Blackpool and Wigan, that might be a time to bring Mullin back into the fold. But I mean, no one's going to complain if he gets back in the side today, because he's just. I feel for Mullin because he's so close to hitting the back of the net mark, isn't he? That I think it just needs that one goal, and it might sort of bring a bit of a spark back to his game.
Totally. I mean, and I've said this before, but people are concerned by Mullin. I understand that in the sense that, it's a real shock for us to see him not scoring goals. But honestly, you'll be fine. He's getting in those positions. You just don't want it to get to the point where he starts to feel like it, in his head, he's thinking this ball just won't go into the net. Because I have no doubt once he starts scoring, it'll keep going. And it's just the best way to handle that. You raise a good point, though. Having said that about away performances, I mean, before last week, we have not been letting goals in, and therefore, yeah, that formation has worked very well. I'm just thinking that's the first goals we've let in since we shifted to that shape, isn't it? So yes, you're quite right in that regard. Maybe an away game isn't the place to change it around, but having said that, getting Paul Mullin back firing is probably the main priority for us now, because the goals haven't been going in fluently, have they? Remember, I think I said last week, if we'd won Saturday 1-0, it would have been a club record, or equal a club record, 5 1-0 wins in a row. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a bit more goals about us, and the sooner we can get Paul Mullin firing on all cylinders, the better for us and the worse for everyone else in League One.
Yeah,
I mean, we did score 2 goals in the end, didn't we? Even
True.
though, granted, the result didn't go our way, but we were minutes away from pulling off a 2-1 win.
Yeah.
I did see an interesting stat about the referee. It was on Red Passion, so bear that in mind as a source. But obviously, Parkinson's win rate as Wrexham manager is around 60%, isn't it? I can't remember exactly, but it's around 60%. Our win rate with that referee in charge is 12.5 out of the 8 games he's refereed us. So I'll let people draw their own conclusions on that one.
I didn't think it was great, but I think it was a penalty, and I didn't think the one on Barnett was a penalty. So I wasn't a fan of his game management. But if I'm honest, I thought that those 2 big decisions were legit. I hate to say that.
Penalty. It was a definite penalty. The
There,
penalty,
yeah.
their penalty was a definite penalty.
Yeah.
You can't complain about that. And yeah, let's look at look. There's going to be other League One fans looking at us now. Must think, bloody hell, how entitled are these Wrexham fans that they're complaining about a draw? You know,
Yeah.
and the glorious thing about Saturday was looking at the Cambridge fans when they got the equaliser, because they were acting like they've won. No, they're acting like they've won the game, and that just shows how much of a scalp getting a result against Wrexham at the racecourse means and is. So it shows how far we've gone, and it could be much worse. We could be losing 2-1 to Brackley Town away.
Gosh, wonder why that came into your head.
I've got to say about the Cambridge fans, though, I thought they made quite a good noise, didn't they, on Saturday, considering the position that they are in the league, and it's so close to Christmas, and fair play, proper decent club, Cambridge. So good on them for how they're doing at the moment, and hopefully, good club like that, I wouldn't mind seeing staying in League One.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to remember, we hit the post as well. We could have made it 3-1 if we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would have been I'm pretty sure it was an own goal if it had gone in. But regardless, it wouldn't have been the own goal of the season. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. In the women's game, we had a much better near own goal, which was denied by the most ludicrous save by Barry's keeper. I'll have to get onto it in the next section because ball driven across the face, defender at the far post charging in. I'm not quite sure what was going on, but made amazing contact with it about 3-4 yards out from her own goal, drilled it straight at the goal, and the keeper somehow managed to drop to her right and save it. I think with her face, but it doesn't matter because it was unsavable and she got to it. It was quite a thing. Well, should we leave the men's game there and move on to the first round, I assume, Bill, of our quiz?
Yes. So first round is just some general Wrexham questions. You're going to have 2 questions each, gents. If you don't answer correctly, I will pass on to the person who is on my right on the screen. So it'll be Mark, Neil, Chay, the order, and we'll go around like that. The first 3 questions are multiple choice. So starting with you, Mark.
Yep.
Who was our 3rd highest goal scorer in the National League winning season? So not the 1st or 2nd, the 3rd highest. Was it Lee, Hayden, or Palmer?
Who was the second option?
Lee, Hayden, or Palmer?
Ooh. Oh, okay. I'm going to say. Now, I better not give my workings out, had I? Because then somebody else will pinch it. I'm going to say Palmer.
Incorrect.
Oh, ref.
Neil?
If I get this wrong as well, does he go round to Chay then and he has a final answer?
Well, I suppose Chay just gets the point, doesn't he? So
He gets it wrong
by default.
I was going to go for Hayden with all his headers.
So was I.
Unlucky, Neil. Chay, you've got a bonus point there. It was Elliot Lee.
Oh.
So it was Mullin first, Palmer second, Lee third with 12 goals, and Hayden fourth with 11 goals. So you're really close.
Fair play.
Okay. Bit of a tougher one, this, Neil. Sorry, this is a look at the draw here.
Thanks, mate. I got mine wrong. Bit of a tough one now.
Well, just wait until you hear it. So, who scored our last league goal in 2008 before we dropped into the National League? Okay, so who was the last league goal scorer in 2008? Was it Levi Mackin, Wes Baines, or Chris Llewellyn?
Wes Baines.
Unlucky. Chay?
It was Chris Llewellyn, I think.
It was. Yes, you're right. All 3 of those players scored, but Chris Llewellyn was the last goal scorer.
Or did they? Because Mackin scored 2, didn't he, if I remember correctly?
Baines scored 2. So it was
Mackin,
Baines.
And,
Yeah.
and Mackin's goal was a header from a Baines free kick, and I'm really not convinced Mackin touched it, but it was given to him.
Right,
So
okay.
I think Baines may have scored a hat trick in that game. Oh, this is Fat Laurie using a quiz. I know stuff outside the questions. Fantastic.
Chay, question 3. So in the 6-5 game against Dover, one of these players scored a brace. So 2 goals. Was it Mullin, Palmer, or Jones?
Oh, God. I believe it was Ollie Palmer, wasn't it?
Correct. Well done, Chay. You're 3 up already.
Wow.
Jordan Davis also scored a brace, but obviously I couldn't put him on. So 2 people on the list. Back to you, Mark. So this round is slightly different. You're going to choose. You're just going to name me a player who is in the top 3 of each category. Okay, so for each of these questions, it's a category of who are the top 3 in Wrexham's history of whatever. Okay.
Cool.
Name one of the top 3 players who are the top scorers from the penalty spot in our history, Mark.
One of the top 3 penalty scorers.
Yes. So it could be any of the top 3, but
Okay.
it has to be in the top 3.
I'm going to say Gary Bennett.
Yeah, well done. He's number 1.
Yay. Mullin? Was he up there?
Bennett, Griffiths, and Ken Barnes.
Ken Barnes was
And
going
then Mullins.
Yeah.
And Mullins 4th.
I was thinking about Ken Barnes because, of course, he was a famous player for Villa and then came down to be our player manager, but was famously, I think, is it that he never missed a penalty? He was certainly was supposed to be amazing at penalties, so fair play. I got a point, yes! I know how Chesterfield.
Neil. Name one of the 3 players with the most red cards in our history.
Oof.
That's a beaut.
Yeah, I won't say anything.
Gary Bennett on that list as well.
No, he's not. Unlucky. Jay, do you want to have a crack?
Oh, I cannot think at all. So I'll say Steve Evans.
Nope. Mark?
I'm contemplating saying Steve Buxton.
Is number 1. Well done.
Back in the game.
It is Steve Buxton, then Jay Harris.
Oh,
then
yeah,
Joey
of course. Oh, of course, yeah.
Jay Harris, surprisingly high considering the amount of games he played compared to Joey Jones. So fair play. Good ratio there. And Jay, last one for this section. Name one of the 3 players with the most clean sheets in our history.
Oh.
Careful, Chay. I'm feeling confident I'm going to pick up your droppings.
Rob Lainton? Is he Rob Lainton in there?
Yes, well done. 3rd in our history. Brian Lloyd, Andy Marriott, and Rob Lainton. I will also say thanks to the absolutely magnificent Wrexham Archives for helping me with these questions, because that's an absolutely amazing website with lots of information on there. So thank you very much to whoever's making and keeping that website going.
No, Dave Roberts is one of them, certainly. Local chap we've spoken about in the past. Neil, get off your phone. I can see him. I can see him typing ARCHIVE. Shocking. So what's the score, Bill?
Oh, scores on the door so far after section 1 is Mark on 2, Neil on 0, and Chay on 4.
Whoa. But it's a marathon, not a sprint.
To play for, though, lads. There's 6 more questions in the next round, and then the last round is going to be worth more than 1 point. So I'll decide how many points it's worth, considering how big the gaps are at the end.
What's it called when all the WWE people all get into one ring at the same time?
Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble.
That's it. So that's the last round is going to be the Royal Rumble, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, should we before that mayhem, we should move on to the mayhem of last Sunday when Wrexham played Barry Sound United in what I can only describe as the most, well, certainly the most entertaining second half of football you're liable to see anywhere. The game on Sunday was a magnificent pre-Christmas fair, and thankfully for Wrexham, ended with a very good outcome. Playing the same team twice in a row, you'd think it'd be dull, wouldn't you, Chay? But actually, turned out to be very entertaining indeed.
Yeah, and I think a result that was really well needed as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I am right in saying it's a 2 week break now, is it, for the women, or like
yeah,
a Christmas break? And when you have extended breaks, Mark, it's important to have that last game. You don't want lingering over you over a 2 week period, do you? So having a really exciting win like that has got to be good for the morale of the team, isn't it? Going into that crucial part of the season post Christmas.
absolutely. And also, I mean, there's not long left now. Was it 4 games till the league splits in half?
Yeah,
Because of our slow starts, losing our first 3 games, we've been playing catch up. Because the bottom two have still only got 1 point each from when they played each other, we've got no danger looking over our shoulders, but we have been stuck in sixth place since pretty much the start of the season. Now, after that win, because Barry were our fourth, the team we're chasing, we're still sixth, but we're 1 point behind fourth, the closest we've been by some margin, which is fantastic and just shows the value of that win.
yeah.
But it was insane because we played Barry the Sunday before at Barry, won very comfortably, 3-1. It should have been a lot more than three. And the first half was exactly the same. We score we score in the second minute and absolutely dominated them. And just, you could really see the way that we'd worked out how they play, and they couldn't get out their defensive third. I mean, again, if it had been 4 or 5 at half time, I don't think anybody could have argued with that. But it was only one. They changed their shape and equalised 24 seconds into the second half. And after that, all hell broke loose. We go 2-1 up. They're breaking away, hitting us. We go 3-1 up. We're missing chances. We hit the bar twice. 3-2, 3-all. With 12 minutes left, they equalise, and you're thinking, oh, this is just crazy. Um, their keeper's making all sorts of saves. They hit the post, and then 3 minutes from the end, fantastic finish by Liv. No, 2 minutes from the end, Liv Fuller. And oh my word, it was just intense. And then one of their players got injured in trying to stop our fourth goal. So the ref added 4 minutes on, but it didn't start for 4 minutes. So it's like 98th minute. You're there thinking, please let this end. We need to win this. It's so crucial. We could have scored 12. Mind you, to be fair, Barry could have scored more in the second half. It was just brilliantly bonkers. Absolutely superb. Oh man, what a way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
So here's a question for you. So with the two bottom sides
Mm,
just on 1 point and with the league splitting off, what's the actual benefit? We're not probably going to win the league. Is there
mm.
actually much benefit in actually getting into the higher top four rather than the bottom top four when the league splits? Because we've got a cup competition to think about as well.
Yeah, yeah. You're exactly right. I mean, the top two, TNS and Cardiff, are pulling away. Swansea maybe are within our reach. The top two aren't. So you're quite right. A big part of it is just the prestige of being in the top four rather than the bottom four. It's the fact that, it would feel like a real disappointment because we qualified for the top four so easily last season. To
Yeah.
miss out completely this season, I think would feel like a backward step. But you're quite right. I mean, and I think it is our first. I mean, I don't know. I guess look at it this way. Um, you'd be happier if you're in the Premier League if you came seventh than 12th. It's that sort of logic, if you will.
Right, okay.
We were up there with the good teams, didn't quite match them, and especially that's made more clear with the split in it. You to fail to get into that and have a sort of pointless conclusion to the season, would hurt.
Yeah.
I accept there's no European places available except for the champions. I accept in practical terms we would still have sort of a pointless one, but well, we'll still be playing against those bigger teams if we manage to get some points off Cardiff or Swansea in the second half of the season as well. I think we'd see that as a good step forwards and good prep for next year. Um, we, I suspect, will look to bring players in January, so they'll get a chance to test themselves against the good teams in the division. But yeah, you're quite right. The best we can hope for is third, and in all likelihood, it'll be hard to achieve that. But it's better than being in the bottom half. You do get a plate for winning the bottom half, but I rather suspect that would have about as much value as a plate in a Greek restaurant. I don't think you would really be cherishing that and putting in a trophy room. You don't want to be in that, do you? That competition. But he's
I,
right. I
I,
mean, in the semi-finals of the trophy, sorry, quarterfinals of the cup. So yeah, those are massive. But actually, I think in terms of stature of the club, being in the top four is actually more important in a lot of ways.
yeah. Yeah, I would just be in a bit more like, oh, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we were kept in the cup competitions, and
Yeah,
if we did end up being in that plate race or whatever you call it,
yeah,
it certainly wouldn't be the end of the world if we end up picking up some silverware.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
don't I don't think there's much league excitement to come for the teams finishing fourth, fifth, and sixth, whichever side of that line, because there's no way the bottom two are going to save themselves. I think Aberystwyth have got more about them than Cardiff Met, but then there's still time for that to change, and they'll have to play each other twice. Yeah, but they're not going to catch anybody else.
you've got to look at TNS this season though,
Mm.
and think, why can't we should be able to emulate that next season?
Yeah,
They're picking from a very similar catchment area to what we've got, and surely we have a little bit more pulling power than what a TNS has. So surely to God, we've got to be looking at them and maybe thinking, oh yeah, if TNS can challenge for a title, why can't we next season? We've got the quality there already.
yeah.
A couple few additions, be interesting to see.
They were very ambitious this summer, TNS, in terms of the players they went for and got. They got a player in who, has played for Wales, for example, who's still, I think she's still only 20 now. Um, so I think they had an excellent summer transfer window. But having said that, yeah, they are right up there. It's going to be them or Cardiff, and they've beaten Cardiff this season already. They didn't come in the top four last season, so it shows what you can do if you can develop and improve. I would say though, I was lucky enough I had Louis Shadoran commentating with me on Sunday, and we agreed, as other good judges have, the standard of the Welsh League has gone up a lot this year compared to last year. Teams like Barry were getting thrashed. We beat them 5-0 away last year. This year they're much more competitive. Britain Ferry have come up and been a strong team. TNS have improved massively. A lot of people felt Swansea had improved, but they can't keep up with Cardiff and TNS. So I think we've improved a bit, although our finishing hasn't been as good, and that's cost us. But yeah, the standard, it's good to see. It's a good league now. Cardiff Met have suffered because Barry pinched a lot of their players, or signed them, should I say. Um, but yeah, it's a good league to watch. But like I said, I think the teams around the middle of the table, yeah, their final positions probably won't change much after the second phase.
I think TNS may have
Interesting.
benefited a lot this season from the money they've gained with their men's team.
Hmm.
Getting through to the Europa Leagues, the
Yeah.
Conference League, and the money they've received from that was like in the millions just for getting through to it for the first
Yeah.
time. So the whole club is going to benefit from that. So you could even see them coming back even stronger again, even more next season,
That's
which
really
may be a little
interesting point,
bit
that
for
isn't it?
Wrexham.
Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of like financial fair play, if Wrexham were in Europe making that sort of money, I don't think it would trickle down to the women's team unless it's like, say, spending on infrastructure. TNS already have good infrastructure. That's a really interesting point, that. Yeah, yeah, it could really help them out. But I wonder if they would be putting it towards the women's side. I'll have to interview someone there, pretend I'm friendly, and then suddenly spring that on them. See what happens.
I, yeah, I think I heard that they got just 4 million for getting to this
Yeah,
stage now.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. The problem for them, of course, is that as a men's team, they're already big fish in a small pond, and all this money, what will it bring them? Do you know what I mean?
Well, Yeah, they're not top of the league either at the moment, are
That's
they?
true.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Ah, but it was a hell of a game. I
yeah,
exhort people to come in the second half of the season. It was a hell of a game that was.
I did see.
It come at a good time
Mm.
as well, hasn't it? It's really has come at a good time where it's been an up and down season for the women, but getting a good result just before the Christmas break. Who have we got coming back?
I want to say that we're playing in the uh, one of the cup competitions first, but my memory is failing me, so I'm gonna have to sneakily look at my computer. Right, let's have a look. Maybe the Wrexham Archive website will tell me. Hey! I think I've got the appropriate spreadsheet up at the moment, actually. I always have appropriate spreadsheets up. I promise you, there are no inappropriate spreadsheets on here. I beg your pardon. I should have known this. It's Cardiff Met away. So that's a game we've got to look to win, isn't it? Obviously.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is that, like you said about having a good conclusion, we've actually won 7 of our last 9 games. It's just that we
Yeah.
had 2 away games back to back against the top 2, which we lost. So, we are in good form. Um, we just haven't been able to match TNS and Cardiff this season. But yeah, Cardiff Met away, then it'll be the semi-final of the Adran Trophy, which hasn't been drawn yet. It's being drawn. Oh, well, I say that. I've given it away. It was drawn last Tuesday. Go and have a look as you watch this and see who we drew. You might be surprised. Cardiff are out of that, so it's going to be Swansea, TNS, and Britain Ferry who are left in with us.
That's 3 good teams, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But let's get a home draw. We beat Britain Ferry
Yeah.
3-0, so let's have them at home again.
Yeah, definitely.
Where's the final of that now?
When's the final?
Where's the final? Sorry.
I'm not sure if they have it neutral or not, actually. I can't remember. So Cardiff won it last time. I'm not sure. The Welsh Cup final, which we're still in, will be a neutral venue because we played at Newport last time. Can't recall the Adran Trophy final. Well, if we want to jump onto the, oh no, I can't do that. I was going to say if we want to jump onto the quiz, I can have a sneaky look at last year's final. But of course, that'll lead to allegations of cheating, won't it? Allegations of cheating, which may be justified. I mean, let's be fair. I'll have a quick look on the old Cymru football, which is a hell of an app. It's brilliant.
Great. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Where are we?
It's almost as if we're plugging everything but the official club website and social media today, isn't it? Get yourselves on Amazon.
What? Get yourself on Meta. Oh God, I forgot what the second
Quest, yeah.
Wait, I was going to say Quest. Darn. All right, Swansea's results.
If they wanted to send us some samples and we could do the podcast through MetaQuest, I wouldn't exactly know.
That's a beautiful message for any kids watching. The final was played. Oh, okay. The final was played at the SDM Glass Stadium. What the heck's that? I have to look that up now.
SDM Glass.
Straight away that a stadium made out of glass seems like a stupid idea, except for Crystal Palace. Obvs. Sorry, I've never said obvs in my life. Okay, I don't introduce custom routes. It's 51 Bryn Derry in. Okay, still Bridgend. So it is a neutral final, which means if we get there, let's be honest, it'll be played somewhere on the Gower Peninsula. Not that there's any bias at all. If we play TNS in the final, it'll be linking in Pontypool or somewhere, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, Bill, rescue me from my cynicism with another stab at quizzery.
Okay, so this section is all the Wrexham's questions. So it's all Christmassy sort of related questions or fixtures that happened around Christmas time.
Ooh.
So we'll go in the same order. So Mark, first question. On the 28th of December 2013, Wrexham played Hyde away. Who scored a hat-trick in the 5-2 win?
Rob Ogilvy.
Correct. Well done.
Ironically, Neil, I was in Venice then. I think that was before we started recording, wasn't it? I said I'm going to Vienna, and you asked me
Yes.
what Venice will be like. Yeah, so I was actually in Venice, and thought, oh well, I've missed an away game at Hyde. Never mind, nothing much will happen, and I missed Rob Ogilvie scoring a hat trick. Darn
Yeah, I went to that game as well.
it! What do you mean as well?
We went as well, Chay, didn't we?
Yeah, we went, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Look at me, little Billy No
yeah.
mates hanging around in Venice. Venice was nice.
Neil,
Yes.
who were Wrexham's Boxing Day opponents last year?
I
Oh,
want to say local club, but it's not a local club, so not local. I don't know. I'll say Barrow.
No, unfortunately not. Chay, you're next in the order.
What?
oh,
Yeah, he isn't he? Yeah, fair enough. Damn, I'm excited.
oh,
I know the answer.
I can't. Oh God, I can't remember. I can't remember. I seriously cannot remember it.
Mark?
Wyndham Town. I
Yeah,
reckon.
well done.
Hey, yes, it was.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
why I said it.
No,
You were there.
notable.
Of course,
Because
it
the
was.
alleged
Sam
rumour.
Darby.
Yes, Sam Darby. Notable because of the alleged rumour that the English FA just assumed that Wrexham were down in South Wales and put us in a nearby local opponent
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
pointed out at, hold on,
Yeah.
Swindon is nowhere near Wrexham, and it was too late for that to be done, which I think is why we're playing Blackpool at home this Boxing Day, because it's just a little bit closer.
I can assure you that is not a rumor. That is true. They put they basically put teams into regions and then put sides from the same regions together and just lumped us into Wales because let's be honest, Wales is just a pimple on the side of England, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
There you have
Ridiculous.
it. Grr.
Incredible.
Chay, what position were Wrexham in League Two on Christmas Day last year?
Oh my God.
So where in the table? I'll give you a clue. It was at least top six because obviously we weren't in 23rd.
Fourth.
Oh, no. Mark?
Well, firstly, there's going to be some tension over the long Christmas dinner here after that stinker of a question to poor Chay. Secondly, you've gone, oh, so I'm thinking fourth must be pretty close. So I'm going to say third.
Yeah, well done.
I'll say, well done. You get the assist on that one.
That was
Yeah, sorry.
that was shocking, though.
Unbelievable.
Apologies.
I could have had a
Don't
point
worry.
there, guys.
Don't worry. He's getting a really hard one next.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, Neil.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark, the last time Wrexham played football on Christmas Day was a 5-3 defeat to Coventry. Which decade did this happen in?
Coventry.
Yeah, so
1960s.
oh, see, I'll do it for everyone now. Neil, you're next.
1970s.
Nope. Chay?
50.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the 50s.
Love this game. Can we have a Christmas quiz every week?
Yeah, it was at Mark. You were really close because it was 59.
Oh, referee.
Neil. In total, Wrexham have played 38 games on Christmas Day. Have we won, lost, or drawn more of these games?
Oh God.
on Christmas Day.
So in Wrexham's history, the last game was in the 50s, but we played 38 games, like year on year on Christmas Day.
Wow.
But of the record, have we won, lost, or drawn more of those games?
1.
Nope.
Nope.
Chay?
Drawn.
Nope.
Oh.
I was going to go down the middle.
Yeah, but he went down the middle. Wrong. Yeah, you fools. If you know your club history, never pays to be an optimistic Wrexham fan. Lost. I'm going lost, Phil.
It was lost. Well done, Mark.
In those days, it was traditional to play a game on Christmas Day and then the reverse match on the Boxing Day.
Wow.
Happy Christmas, everyone. You might see families in a few days.
Sorry, these are really hard, by the way. I just thought I'd punish you a bit.
Just asked me about pigs, like Mark a few weeks ago. I got 5.
Yeah, so that's it's lost. We'd lost 21 of those 38 games, and I can't remember the exact split with the one and draw, but I think the draw was only in single figures, so it was like something like 11 wins. Last question this round, Chay. The last home Christmas game was a 4-1 win against Rochdale in 1956. To the nearest 1,000, what was the attendance that day? And I'll give you a clue, it was under 10,000.
4.
No. Mark?
8.
Nope. Neil?
If you got one of those acts that jumps the gaps in podcasts, I'd recommend when Neil's question comes, activate that feature.
Oh, 6.
No, we'll go back round again, Chay. You got another crack?
3.
Nope.
9.
Nope.
5.
Yeah, well done, Neil.
Hey!
Hey, just remembering all the ones we used.
Yeah.
Yeah. This feels like when the 20th country gives points out at Eurovision and 5 have got 1 point.
It was 5,051 men making their wives very unhappy on Christmas Day, or potentially making them very happy, depending on what kind of Christmas afternoon the wives were after.
Well,
just guessing from what the times were like then, not saying it's necessarily like that now at all.
And as Mr. Bill Long retreats back into his sexist world, let's take a break and then we'll come back with an interview with a hell of a character, Andy Edwards, 1980s tearaway striker, a man who played in those shock results against Porto and Roma, and who was is Wrexham through and through. Well, look, Andy, thank you so much for doing this, because you've got tales to tell. I know you do. It was wonderful for starters. You know, you are from Wrexham.
Yes.
And I remember reading a thing in the programme when you first spoke through, saying that you were quite rare at that time. Even though we brought lots of young players through, to have someone who's come through the Wrexham ranks, who comes from Wrexham, was quite unusual. It must have been an amazing experience when you first, sort of brought in as a schoolboy.
Well, I could say, I had a knock on the door. I don't know what night it was. 2 gentlemen I didn't know, and they wanted to speak to my dad. So I said, "Dad, there's 2 blokes here. They want to speak to you." He said, "What have you done now, lad?" I said, "I haven't done anything, Dad. I don't think." So anyway, my dad came to the door. "Can I help?" In not a nice way like that, really. And it was Ken Roberts and Wyn Jones from Wrexham FC, and they wanted to sign me as a schoolboy. And I didn't, I just played football, played for the Wrexham district and clued in all that lot, and then, fortunate enough, I was a schoolboy. And then my first game for the B team, I was in Wrexham Baths, and I had a phone call over the tannoy in the baths, and Andy Edwards go downstairs.
Oh, wow.
I thought, what the hell? I went downstairs, and Was my dad there with me boots? He said, "You playing football today?" I said, "Where?" He goes, "At Stansted." For the reserves.
Yeah.
A lot of players haven't turned up, they were injured, so I played and must have done all right, because, as I say. And then we got invited on a trip to Eindhoven as 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
A few of us were the older lads, which was a good trip, really good trip. First time I've ever tasted cassis. And I didn't know it was alcohol.
Oh dear.
I had lemonade, it was lemonade, it was nice, but I spent a lot of time not feeling well.
Yeah.
And they told us on the way back we were going to be apprentices.
Oh wow.
That was brilliant. Best news you could ever, because I was a fan. Always have been a fan, still am. And I say, Mel Sutton's in charge then, which was the old League Two, which is now the Championship. Yeah. And looking, you don't realise until now what a big thing it was that we were in the second division with a squad of 30 full-time professionals, and we had 10 of us apprentices.
So at that age, you just think, "Oh, this is normal," I suppose, don't you? Really? But
Well, it was. You came here, you had to clean the boots, do divots, clean the changing rooms, brush the stands, clean all the garbage off the pitch that people had been throwing. Made a few pound.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But they were great days.
Yeah.
Really good days.
And when you actually got your first chance to play for the first team, your debut, you had to do that duty even though you were playing for the first team, didn't you?
Yes, I came in, I was told to come in early, and I had supposed to have the driving lessons, but he said, "No, you got to be here for 6 o'clock." Nobody, it was 6:30.
Yeah.
I had to be here for 6. I was coming in for 6 and he pulled me in the office. I thought, "Oh, I'm in trouble here." And he sat me down and said, "You're playing tonight, son." Oh God, my stomach sank. I mean, sank. I said, "Can I phone my dad?" So I had to phone next doors, because we never had a phone in the house.
Yeah.
Phoned him, told my dad I was playing, but then I still had to go and put the kit out. I had to put a top out for myself, which was mad.
That's crazy.
It was mad, yeah. And we played Shrewsbury and we won.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Starts off with a derby win, and then after the game,
Back cleaning.
clean the changing room.
Get everything up, scrub it down, scrub the baths, and the away changing rooms.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're only 17 then as well.
17,
It's a hell of an experience for you. Bobby Robertson is the manager who gives you that chance.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was brought in because he'd done well on a low budget at Colchester and willing to give young lads a chance. And he
had no choice, really.
Yeah.
No.
Must have been good for you, though.
It was brilliant to see him. Bobby, he liked John Muldoon because he was fit as a fiddle. He liked me because I'm a local lad. I was brought up from a good estate, and I'm saying it was a good estate. Queen's Park, we were brought up well down there.
Yeah.
Real respect for people, and we could look after ourselves on the football field because we had to. And he played me because Dixie was injured, and then I spent a lot of time on the bench as cover that first season. I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I'm in the first team with the players.
Yeah.
It was fantastic for me. It was.
He's good with the young players, Bobby. I'd
Bobby
imagine.
was brilliant. He was. He had us in the gym every afternoon, 1,000 sit-ups, 1,000 press-ups, which is where we are now. This was the old gym.
Of course, yeah. It's amazing how things have changed. The other thing, of course, ways things have changed. Training, like I said, the old gym here, but you had to train on the car park as well, didn't you?
Yeah, if Stansted was frozen solid, we'd be out there playing five-a-side or something and just running up and down there. Or there was a 60-metre sprint under the stand here.
Yeah.
Of the old all-weather stuff, which was just gravel, wasn't it? We'd be running under there.
It's remarkable when you think of how now they're getting the facilities back as they should be. Yeah, so you're doing the training by running underneath the stand itself. That's incredible, isn't it?
Or they'd take us to Plasmaddock.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's remarkable, isn't it, really?
It's a million miles away from what it is now.
There's stories, I don't know how true they are, of players like Peter Davenport or Michael Owen. I don't know how true these are accurate. So, looking at training in the car park and going somewhere else instead as young lads.
Probably.
It's
probably, but as being local, you do anything to play for your own side. And I'm sure there's thousands of lads out there now would play for what we paid for.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of money now, money didn't matter to me. It would do now, but
Exactly.
but at the time, we were on, as apprentices, £14, and them's £18, and my first contract was £70.
Yeah. It's,
God, I jumped the sign in that.
I bet, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The I always thought, I mean, obviously, that local feeling that you had, I mean, you would fight for anything. I mean, it was always, you sort of felt as a fan, you know, when you're there representing us, you're going to do what we want to do, you'll run through brick walls. You had a lovely habit of scoring in derby games, and you had a lovely habit of scoring screamers. I remember Carnarvon getting the wrong side of you, didn't they?
Yeah, that was my first goal actually, against Carnarvon. Yeah, left foot volley, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to celebrate. But there's not a better feeling than scoring against Chester.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly.
Especially in front of the Sealand Road end.
I remember you scoring, Sealand Road, of course, yeah. I was going to jump ahead.
In front of all their fans.
Yeah, exactly.
God, they hated me.
Were you able to, you know,
no,
a subtle celebration?
Oh, I loved it. Wouldn't be able to do it on camera now.
Yeah. But here's the invitation. No,
no.
At least the Chester apprentice has made some extra money that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I remember amazing volley you scored against Bristol City as well. That Carnarvon one, you're modest there. It was left foot volley.
Yeah.
It's a long way out as well.
Yeah,
It wasn't close.
The box, they cleared, and I just took a swing at him in the bottom corner.
And he did the sort of similar goal against Bristol City, I remember, the next season when you were getting a bit more experience in the team as well. But yeah, he scored as well, I like to say, derby games. Shrewsbury, Welsh Cup final, you got one there as well. You seem to be enjoying it.
Well, Tranmere as well scored a few against Tranmere. Because Tranmere are still bitter rivals now, but in them days they were, because they had Steve Mungal and Nigel Atkins in goal. I know we're going back a long way, but the memory's still there.
And Muir and all those players who they rose up sort of just before we recovered in the 90s, and he had some really feisty games with them. Jim Steele went there, of course.
And then he stayed there as a policeman.
Yeah. But and I've got to say as well, seeing as scoring against Chester is a nice thing to remember. I mean, you scored a sort of back header. Here.
Down the cop end.
Yeah.
I just don't know how he did. Just came to me, they just flicked it on like that and it went in. Yeah, I think I scored them both that day.
Not bad. But, you know, it's a long way to run from there to the away end then, wasn't it? That's
there was no Chester fans there then.
Yeah, that's
Big
right.
give up.
It was actually that game, there was trouble there.
Was that the one where they threw all the seats out the stand?
I think it was, yeah. I remember I took, because of course, you know, what's that, 85, there's obviously hooliganism, massive problem. I remember I convinced my younger cousin that, because she used to come and watch Match Today with me in our nan's house, and I convinced her she should go to a game. Why we chose Wrexham Chester, I do not know.
Not a good man, really, no.
She didn't enjoy it.
No.
She didn't enjoy the journey there because my dad had to stop at the lights outside St Mary's Cathedral because two lads were rolling across the road fighting. And then, like I say, the seat throwing, not great.
No.
Yeah, so I'm not sure she's ever been to a game since, to be honest.
It would put you off a bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you scored.
I did score, yeah.
Yeah, no, so she should be...
It is like people say, always scored against Chester. As a Wrexham lad, was just the best ever.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I got to be honest and say that I always had a real love for Jim Steele. What was he like to play alongside? I played wider and sometimes...
When me and Jim played up front, he was a bit much like they are now. But I'm not criticising anybody, but I'd be on his shoulder just in case he did win it, so I could be straight onto it. Whereas, in all fairness, Ollie's doing well, but they're not close enough. In my eyes, I'm but whoever's playing alongside should be close, because if he flicks out on there onto it, not 10 yards away from it.
It's something that, I find maybe people don't do that quite as well. You're using the big man just to get past, to run beyond and get onto. Ollie Barner has to do a lot of holding her up, doesn't he, now, rather than just touching her on.
Flicking it on. Elliot Lee's got pace, Poland's got pace.
Yeah.
The new lad's got pace, both lads, and if I pronounce that right.
Yeah, good enough.
And then we haven't seen much of Mo Fowl, so we don't know how quick he is.
Yeah. He's mobile as well, I'd say. I always remember when I was a kid, you learn so much from like your parents or whoever when they're talking about things, including football. And my dad had always complained because Ian Edwards, I remember Wrexham fans used to get in his back all the time. You're a gas horse, Edwards and all this. And my dad would say, he's winning his headers. It's just people haven't run beyond him to.
It's correct.
It's not his fault.
No.
He's beaten the centre back all the time.
Flick it on, and somebody's got to win it.
Yeah. So I don't know. But Steele was. I mean, his
he was good at what he did.
strong,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
he was good at what he did.
Yeah.
Never had the best touch in the world.
That's what I had you for.
Yeah. No, just dude's running for him.
Exactly. And then other players. I mean, well, firstly, saying about Bobby Roberts bringing young players through. I mean, there were so many young lads who came through at that time and got games. You got more than most. But Darren Baker, Medwin Evans, people like that.
And Steve Jones played.
Yeah.
John's played a lot. There's a few of us, I think one game, six under 17, 6 under 18s played as Preston away. We got hammered.
Wow, oh, you know what? I was looking at the programme for that earlier on today, and Bobby Roberts was very. The programme of the next game, and he was really going out of his way in his notes to say 3-0 looks bad, but actually that was really good. We were in the game for a long time. It's a really young team. Don't judge, because of course in those days people aren't going to be able to get to see away games unless you're actually in the ground.
Yeah.
But
that's correct,
he would protect the young players, I guess. He's bringing them in and he'll protect you.
He had to look after us.
Yeah.
He was a good man. He didn't know how to speak to you though.
Really?
A lot of bawling and shouting.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah. The financial situation. I mean, did it really hit home? At that age, do you really realise how bad it was? Because we were selling players, weren't we? And
when you got to drive your own cars to Walsall because you couldn't afford the bus.
Yeah.
And the train to Millwall, there was no bus.
Yeah.
They were hard times. And then there's no pre-match meals. It was £2 each, but you couldn't buy a pasty.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. These are all true stories. They'll stop off at a service station, get a couple of £1, get a bar of chocolate and a hot drink, and that'd be your pre-match meal.
Yeah. Why were pasties banned?
I don't know, because Bobby said.
Fair enough. That's the best reason.
Yeah.
The gaffer says that. No pasties.
No pasties,
yeah. He must have had a grudge against Cornwall, I reckon.
Probably, yeah. Just like cheese and onion.
That's it. In those days, I remember the front page of the programme having the SOS Save Our Soccer thing. And the fans were fundraising like mad. There used to be a caravan in the car park before games for people to make donations to. We lose players like Joey, who said he didn't want to go, but the club had to sell. Eddie Niedzwecki would go as well for the same reasons.
Well, Eddie used to pick me up for the old Umbro Floodlit League. On a Tuesday night, he used to pick me up. Very nice, good man, Eddie. And then he went on to do well, obviously, Chelsea, and then assistant manager, coaching manager, goalkeeping coach. Yeah, good.
Incredible that he didn't play for Wales, and it'll be the same time as Di Davis and Michael Salvo. That's very unlucky for him, isn't it? He was a terrific keeper, wasn't he? I remember the season that you made your debut. I think he was player of the season. We got relegated, but it's just, if it hadn't been for him, we could have taken some amros, but he was really terrific quality goalie.
I say, it's nothing to be I'm so proud to play, but we got relegated every season I was there.
Not every. Don't do yourself down.
No, one we had to reapply. That was the season George took. Bobby went, and then George finished off, and we won, I think, 5 of the last 6.
Yeah.
And we beat Tranmere 6-1 here.
We were in trouble, weren't we? And then he comes in and does an amazing job.
And George was brilliant. He said, I don't know anything about him, lads, just go and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
And I think that was the difference.
He seems. I did speak to him once. Interviewed him once. He just felt like such quite a calm figure, but I don't know.
It wasn't.
It wasn't like that behind the scenes.
Like traps, because you have to clear out the medical room.
Yeah.
Who hasn't cleaned there properly? We have. He just put a bit of olive oil in the bottom of his foot bath. What's that? Yeah.
Nice.
Making sure he did it properly.
Knew all the tricks.
And somebody nick his fags. Who's that one of my silk cuts? Don't know, George. Yeah.
But characters like that were fantastic to have for their experience around the club. The shame for him, of course, is that they offered him the job permanently, and
he was happy with his physio job.
Yeah, and he felt that was a good, secure job. And then a couple of years afterwards, they brought in new regulations, and he didn't have those qualifications, so he didn't actually have a secure job.
No.
Sadly, because obviously he was a real knowledgeable football man, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he played in the FA Cup final for Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
And then he had the magic sponge. The bucket and sponge. He made everything right, didn't he?
Exactly. It's amazing. There's a statue around the back of the Copper Anfield now of Bob Paisley carrying, I think it's Emlyn Hughes off the pitch, piggybacking him off the pitch with his sponge and his bucket. It's just like, imagine that now.
No.
England's captain or whatever he was like. I've got to mention, haven't I? Europe.
Yeah.
Porto was quite good, wasn't it?
It was. We get asked a lot about this, and it's hard to remember it really.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't play in the first game here, but I had to, because we had such a small squad. I sat on the bench because I was injured.
Yeah.
We went out there. Oh, fantastic result here, 1-0.
Yeah.
Nobody could believe it, and it was a foregone conclusion we were going to get hammered out there.
Yeah.
We went out there. We were still only 19. We were still young, and it was a holiday abroad.
Yeah.
I nearly swore then, it was hammered down with rain for a long, long time. And we didn't get any chance to train anywhere. They gave us an all-weather pitch, which the all-weather in them days was gravel.
Yeah.
And it was just a swimming bath. We got to the ground the night before to have a look around, and they said, "You're not going on the pitch, you can't." So the day of the game, Bobby called me and goes, "You're playing tonight, son." I said, "Oh, great." Right side of midfield. I said, "Hey." He said, "You've got young, strong legs. They've got a good player playing from Paulo Futre." I said, "Oh yeah, never heard of him." He said, "You will do." I say after 15, 20 minutes, we're 3-0 down.
Yeah.
And we thought, "Oh God, here we go." But we stuck to it. And we grabbed two.
Yeah.
Jake King, don't know where they came from. But we did score a lot of goals off them. Jackie Keith flick one on and Jake could tap them in or something. And then they got another one. And I say it's such a long time ago, it's 40 years.
Yeah.
And then I remember I had cramp. And Bobby said, "You're not coming off yet." I said, "Boss, I'm struggling." He said, "John, get warmed up." He must have anyway. So I went off and John came on. And he threw one of his fantastic crosses in, and Barry stuck his big toe out and he threw in the top corner. He stretched up. I was saying he stuck his big toe. He must have, don't know how he did it.
It's incredible.
Don't know
Strike,
how
isn't
he did
it?
it. He's hit his foot and gone in, and that was it. Just couldn't wait for the final whistle. And even though we still didn't know we were through.
Oh wow.
Because
Really?
the way goals rules,
Yeah.
when you're that excited, you don't,
Yeah.
you think, "Oh, we've done all right. We've drawn 4 East." And Bobby went nuts. "What's going on? We've won. We're through. Oh, we're out." And then we drew Roma.
Yeah, and got robbed in Rome.
We did get robbed in Rome, which many people do. Sorry about that for any Italians watching.
My son's going on holidays to Rome on Saturday,
Is
so
he?
now I've a reason.
Have one pocket.
Playing at the Stadio Olimpico.
That was fantastic.
Amazing experience. And then, the referee, I'd say, helped him out a little bit.
It was never a penalty.
No.
But we should have scored out there. We had a free kick and Lisa knocked it into me. I'd lay it off and Kevin Rogers didn't tap it in, which he always used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mad. Like, people say to me, "Oh, I bet you wish you were playing now." I don't, because I hope they do, but they'll never have nights like that for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Playing for your own hometown club against huge clubs like that and in fantastic stadiums like that.
I'll tell you a true story. I used to work in Airbus. Son's lying under the wing, drilling 8mm holes on the root end. A dear friend of mine had a phone. Ched. I said, "What? Where did it all go wrong?" I said, "What do you mean, Eric? Where did it go wrong?" So why? Because you played against Carlo Ancelotti, didn't you? I said, "Yeah." He's just got the best job in the world, the Everton job, and you're under there getting covered in swarf. So I wouldn't change it, Eric.
exactly. The players in those teams as well, like Falcao and Cerezo from the brilliant Brazil team from 1982 World Cup.
Better get.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Pruzzo scored the next year in the Champions League, European Cup final. Oh my word! And we gave him a hard time. They gave him a hard time.
We played really well. Yeah, we did have good performance here. But you can't take that away from us.
No, exactly. Yeah. The full a couple of years ago when COVID was happening, I put the full 90 minutes of the Roma game here on YouTube, and just watching it as I was doing it. I was here, but I don't remember that clearly. But looking at it, it's like, geez, we really competing here.
We did.
It was tremendous performance.
And then I'd say Falcao played here. They didn't play out there because they could only play 2 foreigners in that time. So there was Cerezo and somebody else there, and Falcao and whoever else here. Oh, yeah. Do you think you walked on the same pitch as him as well as a 19-year-old local lad?
Exactly.
It's just great.
It's special thing, fair play. The weird thing about it as well is that, I think that's a much bigger upset than Arsenal, personally, because the context is crazy, because we were really struggling in the league at that time.
Oh, we were, yeah.
Unbelievably. The results, we look at it around those European games.
I think we got beat 6-0 down at Aldershot.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But it's just incredible that we're able to, achieve those things while
we were struggling.
Absolutely out of this world. Can you think of any explanation for it? Or is it just one of those things?
Say the lower down you are, the tougher it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's fighting for it. And I'm not saying that it's because of this, but Wrexham are playing so much better now in this, they're passing it around more, because I'm not saying they're getting more time, but they are getting more time because they're not getting hurried, and everybody comes in, it's everybody's FA Cup final now.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
It wasn't when I played.
Yeah, when looking through the programme notes from when they were here, there's a really funny half page where it's just before Wales beat Spain here, and it says it's going to be great to have a big crowd, because this is what we usually have. They showed the away end against Torquay, and there were like 3 people standing at the back of the terrace. There was 1 person in the stand, and you think, yeah, okay, it will be different.
It's like that here sometimes, midweek.
Yeah, exactly. So there's of course the famous instance when we were first on the National League, and we played Histon here midweek, and there were no away fans at all.
Bloody hell.
And I remember all the photographers all going to take pictures of the completely away. Still sectioned off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Don't know why. Safety measures.
But it was quite something. Dixie comes in.
Yeah.
And you score that hat-trick. One of the quickest ever by a Wrexham player.
Really?
I can't tell you if you're the quickest or not, because I've been going through and having a look, and I've not finished yet, but I will do. But it's certainly a quick one. You could have got the first one as well, I seem to remember. Got nicked off you by Jim Steele. Just got there first.
Of course he will, yeah. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember a lot about it, because it's a long time ago, but he had given me a bit of a going over, Dix.
Yeah.
So you're not scoring enough, you're not being greedy enough, you've got to be more aggressive in there. So what do you want to do, break his nose next time? And then I scored the hat-trick a couple of days after I'd had the talking to. So he claimed that one, saying it's him that got me going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and again, in the programme notes next game, he's there saying, I gave him a rollicking.
I read that myself, I got that programme, yeah. I got that one around.
But wow, it must be, again, to be local, to keep the match ball, that must feel.
I don't know where it is now. No.
But the experience of doing that, by then we got players like Steve Charles playing for us. You see Barry Horn.
Yeah.
Mike Hooper comes in, doesn't he?
That's right.
We've got a nice looking side that's built on the finish of last season as well. We get to the Welsh Cup final because of you. You score in both legs, don't you?
Yeah.
Against Cardiff, another team that I like to see scored against.
I'd already been released then.
Had you?
Yeah, I got in the early April. I got called in. we're going to have to let you go. But the year before, Tony Rance, do you remember Tony Rance being here? Yeah. He wanted me to sign a 2-year contract before Dixie came in. But Dixie put us all on 1 year because he wanted to get his own squad. Yeah. He called me in the April and said, listen, he goes, I'm going to have to let you go. I was upset, really upset. Yeah. He said, but will you carry on playing till the end of the season and we'll pay your contract off now? So I thought, of course I'm going to carry on playing. So the last 10 games I played knowing I was going.
Gosh,
at the end of the season.
Wow. Well, I think it again illustrates your commitment.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And then to get Cardiff in the semi-final, so we knew we had to win to get, because Kidderminster already through. We knew we had to win them to get into Europe. Then when I scored the winner down there, we're in the, I just say, it doesn't happen any days, we're all in the bath. I just said, good luck in Europe next year, lads. Shut up, Ted. I said, well, no, I knew I wasn't going to be there.
Oh man, that's. And we do win the Welsh Cup as well, don't we? We've Kidderminster in the final. They had that guy, Casey, didn't he? Who was phenomenal goal scorer.
He scored loads of goals from that season.
And he scored here. We drew here. But then we go to Kidderminster and win it, and we do get that European spot.
In the green kit.
Yes, yeah. Oh, and Di Davis, of course, coming back in goal. That was
I got a picture of after the match, and everybody says, "Why are you look so fed up on that picture?" I said, "Because I knew it was my last game." It was my very last game.
Oh, that's harsh. I never realised those circumstances. It was. Then you went to Australia for a bit, then?
I had 18 months there.
That must have been an experience.
No, it was rubbish.
Right.
It wasn't like Neighbours. I wasn't around the 80s and went out there and ended up at a place called Sunshine, which wasn't sunny. Just a big letdown, really. But I did well out there, made a few bob, and come back. And bumped into my old mate, John Muldoon. He said, "You fancy a game at Morecambe?" I said, "Yeah, go on then." Went up there, played Worthington, beat them 2-0, I scored them both, and I signed from that night.
Oh, wow.
But somebody, because I was out of work, must have phoned up the HMRC, wherever they were, and I got docked £15.
Oh, no.
For playing football, because the expenses were too much.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah, that's what being local is.
Yeah. Oh, man. Someone waiting.
Somebody from Chester.
Yeah, probably.
And then I got a job on the milk. I was a milkman for 10 years.
Yeah. I always knew John was.
John that said we got a job going there.
Yeah.
And it was the best job ever. Kept so fit.
Oh, wow.
And then we went to play for Cone Dynamos.
Yeah. Was that when they were having all that investment in?
The money was ridiculous, yeah. Went there in all Northwest counties, won that, won the Northern Prem, which is the National League now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then into the conference, and I couldn't stay there any longer, and I fell out with the manager. He was a bit of a, Graham White his name was, he was a millionaire, and he let you know he had money. We went at 3-0, I scored 2, and he comes in at half-time for his half-time speech, which he shouldn't have done. And you, Teddy, you might have played at stadium like this, you're here at Thalt House. Don't speak to me like that. And I never turned up again. I went to Carnarvon.
Well, I mean, that's a funny way to treat your star striker. I
wouldn't say star striker, he had the players they had there. Alan Kennedy. He was there. Barry Diamond,
he came on loan here, didn't he?
Rochdale.
Oh, Rochdale, he reminded me of something. There was that game, I remember at the time, I didn't go to it, I remember just thinking, my God, did this really happen? There was a game at Rochdale, and afterwards, the anger from Wrexham about the referee, they'd scored, we had a clear penalty on Jack Chay not given apparently. They scored a penalty, the ball went through the net and hit the adverts and bounced out, and the ref gave a goal kick. But then at the end, the winning goal, they won 3-2, is, who was it? It was Ronnie Sinclair, I'm not sure, had the ball.
He's headed out of his hands.
Gamble, he heads it out of his hands and scored, and the goal was given. I mean, what?
refereeing standard was just as bad then as it is now.
Fair comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the lower down you are.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, we're recording this the day after the Lincoln game, and I'm sure Lewis Bruns would agree, after getting the softest yellow card in the history of football. It was ludicrous. And he didn't book another player in the hole?
No.
And then Bruns could have been sent off, and of course he's going to chicken right out of that one. Quite right, maybe, because he's evening it up, I don't know.
No.
Now, I've got to put you on the psychiatrist's couch here now.
Why?
Because when I was looking through, I saw a player profile that you did. Right?
Oh, God, here we go, yeah.
And I'm just going to argue that as a 19-year-old, your choice of favourite programme being...
That was a wind-up.
Oh, damn!
Of course it was. He-Man was brilliant.
Exactly.
He-Man was brilliant for the power of Grayskull, but...
Exactly. I mean, I was more of a She-Ra sort of guy, you know?
You get asked silly questions and you're going to give them a stupid answer.
Exactly. So you did give a serious one as well, I seem to recall. It was, I can't remember what it was now, but it was like looking and thinking, okay, that's an interesting, that's a good choice. Then, oh, He-Man. Okay, fair enough. Good call, I reckon.
I think you're probably asking who I'd like to meet. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
I like boxing in them days.
Yeah.
I won't watch it anymore after me bleed.
Yeah.
But he was the best ever. That welterweight.
Well, I did see that, and I'm pleased to say, Ray! He's deaf these days, poor boy.
You're talking to Ray Charles as well.
No, it was fantastic then, wasn't it? So, totally off topic, but who cares? You know, you had him, Duran, Hearns, Hagler,
all of them,
Minter. I mean, there were great middleweights, weren't there?
They were fantastic. Yeah, why are we talking about boxing now?
I have no idea. But it was, and
hey, just get some boxing going on the training ground as well. Steve Buxton and Steve Down hated each other.
Oh God.
Imagine Bucky throwing them little haymakers and Steve Down holding him off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. Yeah, like that. He had a reassuringly wide forehead for a bloke whose job was heading the ball.
Yeah.
But he was very solid, wasn't he? And
he was, yeah.
I used to enjoy another player who we had to sell was Billy Ronson, who was
passed away now.
Yeah.
My mate Mark Joseph used to clean his boots.
Yeah.
And he had to have them mint. They're size 6, tiny little things. Anyway, we were sitting in the away change room, which was ours.
Yeah.
Coming through his boots at him because they're not clean. He said, of course they are. They're spotless. One of the laces was twisted. Oh, he hated him.
Got to get your equipment right.
Yeah.
The players like that, I always remember, like I said, his energy and the way he got around the pitch and his sort of leadership was really, really good. But it really hurt seeing so many good players leave. And we did well, really bringing in people like King and Chay and people like that. Yeah. But then we couldn't. Well, okay, we couldn't keep people like Jim Steele, Kevin Bremner on loan. Steele comes back afterwards. But you look at that time and our sort of inconsistency. You can just see it's because we've got a good player in Robbie Savage. You can bring in a player, then...
Not that Robbie Savage, by the way.
No, the other Robbie Savage, yes.
Not the Bradley.
Yeah. But, you can understand why we'd be a bit inconsistent because players come in...
And that's why we were playing so many games. I think the last year under Bobby, I think I played 40-odd games. Got 17 goals, something daft like that.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, isn't it? I feel that, looking at it, last 2 seasons, you're getting double figures. You're damn unlucky not to be kept on. I guess it is just Dixie wants a new squad, I guess. Because there was a big turnover.
Different things like, clash of, I don't know. Me and Dixie best mates now, but we clashed a lot.
Yeah.
Because he was a forward and I was a forward and we clashed.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because then when he tried to sign me for Flint, I said, I nearly swore again. I said, no, Dix, you sacked me. I'll let it go. I said, so he said, how much?
It's sometimes that sort of creative tension can work, can't it? Like you say, getting the rollicking will stir you up as well. And,
we could wind you up.
I think a lot of people don't fully understand that. The sort of that dressing room mentality that is different from, I think, how people view it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not quite the same now. As
I don't think managers get away with what managers did in them days.
Yeah.
We played Hartlepool away freezing cold Tuesday night. Dixie was in charge. We got beat, and all they had in their change room was a Calagas oil burner.
Yeah.
3 showers, nothing else. We were shivering. Just from the big urns of tea and a load of pies. He goes in, boots it oven, you're not having them. Jim Steele went mad. But the true, them things happened.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't imagine Mbappe getting a grilling. No, okay.
Well, not having a pie after the match either.
Fair comment.
No.
Fair comment.
Yeah, but they were great times.
Well,
I wouldn't change them.
I mean, all I can say is thank you so much.
No, it's my pleasure. Thanks for asking me. And if you ever see the owners, pass on a message to me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, they've done enough just for the club, for
the town.
Our town.
Yeah.
You're a High Town, I'm a Park lad. Yeah.
Doesn't
get better than that, does it?
Exactly. No. Yeah. Now we're going to have a fight in the car park.
Sensing the club shut now.
No, honestly, thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for asking me.
You've graced the service you gave our club. We'll always be proud of. And I didn't even mention that story that I told you about on the playground. I might not even do it now. I might do.
Do what you want, because I can't remember.
You were in the 5th year when I was in the 1st year at St Joseph's, and even then I could see that you were the man. But you did one amazing thing, because we had a lad in our year group who he was very good at judo, so he could follow up his words, to be fair. But he used to really enjoy winding you guys up. He was a little lad, and he used to try and wind you guys up, the big lads up all the time. And then one lunchtime, I never fully understood how to do it, but there was like the netball courts had a little grass bank by them, and you managed to put him into a netball net. It was magnificent, and he couldn't get out
because it really got to me that day.
Oh yeah. He could do that, believe me.
Yeah.
The scar on my nose is from chicken pox. When I went back in, I still had a scab on it, and I spent ages thinking, he's the sort of lad who will see that as a target. Do I appeal to his human side?
No.
And say, please don't do anything, or does he not have a human side? And I think what it would have happened anyway. Yeah. I said to him, I tried to be nice and said, please don't knock this off, because it'll scar me. And he said, okay, gone. But yeah.
So I humanely dispatched him.
Exactly so, yeah, perfectly put. You just placed him somehow, I don't know how, with an athletic feats, but you put him in the netball net, and as it's freestanding, it's just wobbling, and he's there screaming, but he doesn't want to try and get out because it's probably going to fall. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. If nothing else, you avenged the scab on my nose. And no one's ever said that to you before, have they?
No, I've been called some things, but an avenger, never. Right, cheers, thank you.
Thank you so much, Andy.
You're welcome.
What a gent Andy Edwards is. He really is. That is fantastic to hear from him. And yeah, he played during some quite troubled times with the club, but goodness me, he was 100% wholehearted player. Really was. Great to catch up with him. But I want to get back to the final round of the quiz. Bill, what's the scores on the doors?
So in last place, unfortunately, Neil, with your consolation goal, right to finish it in the last one with 1 point. You've been dead.
Things are going badly when you get your consolation goal 2/3 of the way through.
Chay's on 5 points, which puts Mark top on 6 points.
Ooh.
If Chay was to I'm going to set this to 1 point when I have some jeopardy here.
Ooh.
So we're going to do a 1.1 question last round, but I do have a tiebreaker for Chay and Mark if Chay were to get the answer to this question. All right. So this one I'm not going to go round in a circle. You can just shout out once you think you know who the player is. If you shout out and you're wrong, you have to wait for everybody else to have had the turn before you can come back in. Okay, so anybody who watches the Ben Foster's podcast, the Foscast, I've nicked this. It's a career path question, but it's for an ex-Wrexham player. So I will name some of the clubs, but not in any particular order that this player has played for. Okay. Stevenage Borough, Forest Green Rovers, Bristol Rovers, Oxford United, Maidenhead, Mansfield.
Paul Mullin.
Jeff Louis?
No. Oh, Mark, with a stunning header at the back post.
Oof. Just like Jeff and everything.
I'm going to say Jefferson Louis as well.
Nick's the quiz, so the look at him with some sort of trophy in the background.
I'm grabbing Cryptics. Ask Wrexham Dragon for good luck now.
Love it.
What a beauty it is.
Yeah, well done. Jefferson Louis, who I couldn't name all of his clubs because there are about 200 of them that he's played for. Yeah, well done. Do you want to hear the tiebreaker anyway? Do you want to have a crack at it?
Oh, is that the only
got that
question?
one so early.
Was that the only question?
Well, I thought I didn't think anyone would get it so quickly. So yeah. Okay, I've got another. Do you want to carry on and just add this to it? Have we got a bit of time?
Yeah,
Do it.
All right. AFC Telford, Hednesford Town, Tamworth, Chester, Macclesfield Town,
Durrell.
Who said that first then?
Me.
Yeah,
yes, well done,
twice, didn't he?
I thought I was looking at the club, so I wasn't sure if it was
nice.
Yeah, well done, Chay.
Because Macclesfield is where he made where he played his best football, really, wasn't it?
And Hensford was where he scored that unbelievable goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
and he played for
China, wasn't
it? Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So 7-6. I can go for one more if you've got one. I have an extra couple in the bag.
Go on, then.
Bit of jeopardy.
Okay. Crewe Alexandra, Cheltenham Town, Northampton Town, Torquay United. Nope. You're out for now, Mark. Torquay United, Halifax Town, Barrow.
Oh. Ooh. Say it again.
Crewe, Cheltenham, Northampton, Torquay, Halifax, Barrow.
Dio Angus?
Nope.
Go on, Neil.
No idea. I was going to say Young, but no, that's only because he was Plymouth. So.
You're all back in then.
Oh, I've got a name in my head, but I don't want to say it.
Halifax.
Barrow and Torquay. Was he a member of the AA?
Well, Alcoholics Anonymous. Mark, those clubs are very fine clubs. They're not,
Well, all I can say is if this ends up in court, I didn't know who it was, but you do, and you jumped to that.
Not Summerfield, no.
Ooh.
Nope.
I know he played for Halifax.
If it's not Summerfield, is it Waitrose? I think I might have got the question mixed up. Sure, there's a Waitrose in Barrow. I'm going to say Kevin Wilkin, but I don't think it's true. He's not an expert. Nope. I didn't say that.
That's too late. Neil, you're still in.
I really can't think of anybody, to be honest.
You're all going to kick yourself.
Kevin Sharp.
Nope.
Right. Is it recent?
That would be giving a clue, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we're begging you for a clue.
Yes, it is recent.
Bevan.
Nope.
Northampton, Halifax, Barrow.
Everybody talking about pop music. Sorry.
Barrow.
Northampton, Halifax, Barrow. is what they have on the bottom of the Yves Saint Laurent adverts, isn't it? I think Paris is in there as well.
Torquay as well as Barrow. That's a.
Yep.
It's like from opposite ends of the country. This is bothering me.
Or is it?
You're going to absolutely kick yourselves.
I think he needs to give it away, doesn't he?
Okay, I'll give you a clue.
Waterfall.
Oh, that's what I was thinking, but I couldn't think of his name. He's gone out on loan. He hardly played for us, a striker.
Billy Waters.
Billy Waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well,
And he's
congratulations.
gone back to Halifax.
If you said Doncaster alone, I think I might have got that.
Yeah, he's gone to us. I didn't include loans generally when I was reading some of those out, because if I'd have included loans with Jefferson Louis, we'd have been here until next year. So,
So
that was really good.
Yeah, it was a brilliant quiz with a spectacularly anticlimactic ending.
Yeah.
Well done, Mark. You are the winner.
Oh,
congratulations.
I want to thank my family. Obviously, the King of Norway plays a big role in my upbringing. Thanks everyone. Brilliant.
Mark, I've just realised something, okay? I have not brought this up for yet. Wales have drawn Liechtenstein in the World Cup qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
You should go, Captain Liechtenstein. You should vlog it.
Oh gosh, I'm Captain Liechtenstein. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Because that's what Iva does. Absolutely. That's a joke for people who know what the capital of Liechtenstein is. Should I?
Yeah, you should.
Oh,
it's meant to be beautiful as well, to be fair.
I've never been there. The main two facts I know about Liechtenstein. First, the boring quiz one is that it has the same tune as God Save the King.
Yes.
And then the less known one, which is really bizarre, is that quite often Switzerland invade Liechtenstein when they're doing army maneuvers, and it seems to be a sort of we don't get involved in any wars, but we miss flexing our muscles, and so we got a tiny neighbour, so we'll just intimidate them by sending our army in. And they always say, "Oh, we didn't realise we'd crossed the border," which in these days of sat navs and road signs seems a fairly lame excuse, doesn't it? Yeah. We had our military operations, absolutely. A Sidewinder missile. It can pick out the window pane it wants to go through 70 miles away. But I didn't know what that sign meant. So maybe I should. Maybe I should invade Liechtenstein, see how far I get. Oh, you know what? I'm going straight on to I can say Expedia because they sponsor us, don't they? Do they still sponsor us?
Sure.
Hopefully.
Let's do it. Right, Expedia, are you listening? I want to go to Liechtenstein.
So, in one podcast, we've requested some meta quests and a flight to Liechtenstein from sponsors.
I am the bride of Liechtenstein. I will go.
And you've advertised AA as well, guys.
Yeah. But which one? Because let's be honest, they don't mix, do they?
One quick thing before we leave. Haven't Bristol Rovers just sacked their manager today?
Oh, have
they?
Oh.
Yeah, they have.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, just to finish off, it's going to be a big game on Saturday. Me and Bill are going to go in the stands. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, with them sacking their manager, that can mean one or two things, can't it? So it's going to be really interesting. But I've listened to a Bristol Rovers podcast actually, and they seem a bit of a mess on and off the field at the moment. So if we play at our best, I'm really confident we can get a result there.
Yeah, I'm going to be in the stands as well because when you're in the car park, there's just less detail to give in the commentary, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But like you say, Will that G them up, or are they on their knees weeping and gnashing their teeth? Only one way to find out.
Right.
Thank you, Harry Hill. I reckon we've deteriorated enough now, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
So happy Christmas, everybody. Although who knows what's going on next week anyway. Maybe we'll do 8 final whistle weeklies. Who knows? Obviously, bow down because I am the king of quiz. And see you next time from Liechtenstein.